First we have an army of Jotun at our gates, and now this. I don't know you, little one, but you'll find no quarter here. This is still Colossi-held territory for the moment. State your intent. You barge into these lands, and yet you do not know who holds them? I am. My people are Colossi. For years we have held these lands as the hallowed grounds of our gods. We are stone and flesh, sword and faith. Everything does harm in these lands. I do not know you, so why should I take you at your word? Furthermore, none have come from those caverns since they were sealed, save you. How is it you came here? It is a road that has gone otherwise unwalked since it was sealed. How did you walk this path? Strange entity. A curious riddle, but one that must be solved later. It seems the Jotun have rallied their strength. Steel yourself. Was well fought, little friend. You have a strength in your arms that belies their lack of girth. Perhaps you are not the interloper I believed you to be. You claim to have been summoned, but for what purpose? The Jotun are a savage race, but their cruelty can be controlled as easily as it can be fostered. Before we came here, the Jotun were our wards, but that was a lifetime ago. And now they call for our heads. We have come, little one, from savage lands and savage past. We have been picked by the gods to carry their will across this world. And now we inhabit this land, summoned by our gods to do their works, and who now are silent. It was an old passage built by my people as our faith demanded. Once, it was to lead to fertile woodlands. But we were commanded to stay our diggers, our masons. So we remain in the teeth. I command the soldiers that protect my people, the Colossi, from the dangers of this land. They are many, and we are but few. Each passing year it seems more and more like we lose ground. But what can we do? We are commanded to stay here. What strange forces brought you here? You speak of the Holy King of my people, and that artifact you bear. Could it be the cipher? Your mission is twice damned already. The Primos is a recluse. But more immediate than that is the Jotun horde. Idilla is sealed off as long as they continue plaguing my people. It is the city you see floating in the sky over this land of savages and dangers. It is my people's greatest accomplishment and failure. I cannot speak more of it to an outsider. Forgive me. A relic of great importance to those of my people that carry the faith. I thought it was just a myth, but one who carries the cipher is much loved by the gods. So the sages of my race say. A blessing as much as a curse. Yes, hiding away in his high tower and pining for gods that will never listen to him. The Primos is the highest office among the Colossi, reserved for the one that leads my people in politics and prayer. At least that is how things should be. But Anakatos, the latest to have this authority, has not lived up to his duties. Our people are stranded in a wild land, in a time of our greatest doubt, and he locks himself away from us. Our ruler leaves us leaderless. The Jotun are led by Karunk, a warlord that reigns over his horde from his ramshackle tower. One of my scouts, Remy's, watches them now. He can offer you advice on fighting the warlord, and if you can kill Karunk, I will lead you to the Primos myself. It is a wonder to any mortal eyes, though because it is not good enough for the gods' tastes, we must call it a failure. And still we bear this bitter truth every morning, and by every sundown it seems liable to crush us under its weight. The warlord is cruelty incarnate. He has transformed the memory of my people's leadership into that of slavery, as if we possess such barbarity. He makes camp in the barbarous tower you see in the distance. He must be killed if this is to end. Keep it close to you. That artifact is proof to many that you are the avatar of the gods. It holds much power. The quickest way to end their threat would be to kill their war chief, Karunk. With his death, the others will be brought to heel. Bring word to the city. They will need to know about the Jotun and this new interloper.
I will finish what I
Ah, what a horrid little thing you are. Are you some kind of Jotun runt? Explain yourself quickly. The last thing I want is to give away my position. They gorge themselves daily. They fight at the slightest provocation. They pride themselves on their odor. Are these truly the menace to our society? I have seen him rip a spear from his belly without so much as a grunt. We thought he might just not feel pain, but I know his secret. I am a scout for the Idilla Guard. There are many dangers that lurk in the corners of this land. My job is to root them out. She is a competent warrior and good leader, but she's served the city almost non-stop since she became the captain of the guard. Every day she seems more strained than the day before. How long can she continue serving the city? That much I was aware of, and I knew Sikandra would send someone. But you? A sign of the times, to be sure, but if you're to do the deed, then I have information that you will need. Karunk is truly powerful, but no more so than his brethren. It is not his strength that's troubling. It's his fortitude. 2 kobolds he keeps with him work some strange magics that heal his wounds and help him resist injury. Kill them, and the fight is yours. Using primal magic would certainly help as well. Strange thing, aren't you? Primal magic is a magic imbued upon weapons and gems. Only armament can channel it. The magic does some damage on its own, but its true strength is its ability to augment other magics you cast on your foe to a devastating degree. Take this weapon. Use it to inflict primal magic on a foe and let loose your spells. Even a Jotun warlord could not withstand such an onslaught. It is an older form of magic, one that does little damage on its own, but can wreak havoc when combined with elemental spells. Using weapons infused with primal magic, you can increase your foe's magical sensitivity. Even a troll's hide will have its resistances sapped. Imagine loosing your most damaging spells with no resistances. Few would survive such an onslaught. Be careful.
I had heard. From Remy's I received word that one such as you entered Karunk's tower with no trepidation, no anxiety. Do I even have to ask? Does the war chief still draw breath? It was said the gods would call their champion, and here you are bearing the cipher, seeking the Primos. If you have learned something of primal magic, this staff may be of value to you. Take it with my thanks for your role in killing the warlord. Now my forces can put the rest of the Jotun to the spear beckoned. Before this day, I thought it was just a myth, a lie my people told ourselves to make our sins more bearable. The beckoned is a deliverer. The beckoned speaks for the gods. The beckoned is their messenger, their conduit. What is the beckoned? One who carries the cipher, the icon of the gods. One who faces the troubles of my people without hesitancy. The beckoned is you. With their leader dead, they will likely keep to themselves and lose the will to harry my people as they have. I will wager that they won't suffer incursions into their camp, for good or ill. But still they have caused my people suffering. Shall we wait and allow them to inevitably rise again? This is our best opportunity to finish them. I owe you much for killing Karunk Beckoned, so I will do as you say. I only hope you do not reap bitter fruit from your generosity. Now I will take you to the henge, and then to the Primos, as I promised. The Primos is our ruler, and the most devout of the Colossi. For example, our current Primos, Anakatos, has sequestered himself away from our people in prayer for years. Meanwhile, we are threatened every day, and because of Anakatos' extreme measures, we lack guidance. An artifact my people made. With the city in the sky, we knew we needed a way to travel from the teeth and back. The energies it focuses are the same as those that keep the city aloft. They can levitate people and objects safely. Be cautious in these lands. Here, beckoned. This artifact you see before us is a henge. We use it to transport to the city. It may be uncomfortable at first. I still recall retching after my first journey with it. But it is the only way into the city. I have thought on your decision to spare the Jotun, and how our intolerance exposes our hypocrisy. At first I saw no reason for it. The Jotun are cruel and savage. Then I realized that we Colossi were that way once, until someone gave us a chance. Very well. And here you have it, Idylla, our great failing. Now let us go to Anakatos. He may hide from our people's needs, but he will not refuse a visitor sent from Athene. We are adrift in these lands, I must admit. We might have been great enough to overcome the burdens, but now we cannot. The gods choose the Primos to lead we Colossi, and to enact their will. Of the gods, we are the favored of Athene, the goddess of wisdom. Or we were. Athene's once common words have been quiet for some time. The Primos has prayed in isolation for years, but she does not answer. Now that the trouble with the Jotun has been solved, I am free to investigate other threats to my people. And there are many options to choose from. The goddess of wisdom was our patron. Though my people worship all the Titans, they hold Athene as our personal guardian. But the gods do not look to us or listen to us. What manner of patron neglects their charge, leaves their wards to the wilderness? Very well. Mind your step here, beckoned. I wouldn't want the Colossi's failure to claim any more lives than it already has. It is not here by choice. Or our choice, anyways. Such questions would be better suited for the Primos. Suffice it to say that this was made in anticipation of something that never occurred. Very well.
You must be the beckoned.
Beyond these stairs is the sanctuary of the Primos, the leader of the Colossi people in the teeth of Naros. I must warn you, Anakatos has not left these quarters in years. He vowed to never cease his prayers until the gods answered them, and his people have languished for it. But I think his answer has finally arrived. Speak to him, beckoned. His people have need of him. After years in his sanctum, I doubt he is the Primos I once knew. But though we all languish in the god's absence, None suffer as he does. He will likely see you as the answer to his prayers. Farewell.
Is there anything I can assist you with? Welcome, Beckoned. The Primos attends to his own affairs. I am usually wanting for additional tasks. Anokatos is most secretive compared to his predecessor, who was killed in the Hyperion tragedy. Still, he is our best hope for the Colossi to realize our goals. It is the greatest city ever built. The gods themselves requested we built it to test our faith. The city soars above the ground, as you have seen, but it is not yet complete. Who knows if it ever will be? The greatest of us are nearly gods, and had the gods not shown us this, we might never have reached the state you see us in now. An odd question. They are gods. It is common knowledge that they are the creators of the Colossi, the creators of this world and everything in it. The great Athene is among their kind, and she has given us the task of inheriting the Titan's legacy now that they have ascended from this world. I have heard you are powerful, but be wary. This land is host to all manner of dangers.
And though the path be fraught with tribulation, know that it leads to the land of our greatness, and that we walk it with you. Such were the words the gods spoke to the progenitor of my race when they sought to guide us from our base origins into a fruition of potential. The words have been in my heart every day of my reign, but now they are embodied. Welcome, beckoned. At last, this city will be complete. Because we are all of us, my whole people, incomplete. Because we are not worthy enough, not deserving enough to see such wonders of the gods. And I thought that failure was a finality. I have prayed to the gods in seclusion in hopes of an answer, but they were as quiet as the silent choir. Now the beckoned is come. With you, the gods can bear witness to us atoning for our inadequacies. We must start at once, beginning with the wreath of absolution. Something no Primos would ever wish to wear. They are only made in times of great need, when we must prove to the gods our devotion. The wreath of absolution can only be created from the hands guided by Athene. I must ask you to assemble it. First, a golden prayer circlet is needed to serve as its base. The art of crafting one is all but lost to us, but I require one all the same. The last Primos to wear a wreath of absolution, Arches, is buried with one such circlet. Secandra led you to me, did she not? Then she will lead you to the circlet. This is greater than any city or any temple that you will find in this world. Of that I assure you. But the city, though magnificent, is only half completed. I am the Primos of the Colossi people. As I lead them in politics, I lead them in prayer. He led my people into the times that you see today. The gods did not favor his reign, clearly. The Silent Choir is a group of our most faithful followers, and serve me as I serve the gods. So deep is their faith that they never speak upon entering service. This land is the crucible by which my people might be forged to their new destiny. Vicious and inhospitable, it rebukes my people's every step. The Colossi are the children of the Titans. We are the inheritors of their will, and we are the ones that will shepherd this world into a new age. The messenger of the gods, one summoned to bring the word of faith back to our people. I always assumed that the beckoned would be one of my own kind, but you bear the cipher. Your role cannot be made more clear. Many are the artifacts strewn throughout this world, but the cipher of Athene, I have seen its outline traced in tomes and scrolls, but never in person. Bearing it makes you an embodiment of her power, beckoned. She sees and hears through you. The goddess has shepherded my people for generations. She was responsible for the growth of my people. Somehow, we were found unworthy of her. I have prayed to learn why, but her anger must be far too great. It lies in his crypt, in the darkest pits beneath the city. They are old halls, and they have fallen into disuse. I understand there might be trepidations in taking such an artifact from my predecessor's crypt, but I assure you, it is ordained. The times we have arrived at are desperate, and when the heavens show their intent, one cannot stand too much on ceremony. Come, beckoned.
You return. Well, the Primos has not graced the ears of his subjects in ages. What has he said to you? The circlet of Arcase. And Anakatos expects me to lead you to it? Has his reclusion left him senseless? Has he forgotten his history as well as his people? Very well. As I cannot refuse the Primos, I will meet you in the crypts in the undersewers of the city. Let us deal with this as quickly as possible. You are the first to hear his voice in some time. I almost thought he would join his acolytes in their silent pact. But his prolonged absence from his people has taken its toll on his judgment. Does the crypt of Arcase have no sanctity to him? I've had chances to speak of Arcase before, but it is not fitting for me to discuss him. Not now. We can find it in the crypts beneath the city's sewers. They are old structures, forgotten as the city was built above them. Very well.
Beckoned. Can I interest... My potions will allow you to fight the battles your divine station requires, Beckoned. Not many of my kind are drawn to horticulture, but it teaches me patience and satisfaction. There are miracles, great and small, to be seen in this world if you know where to look. But the gods had no use for subtlety with us. Look at this city. You can see their love of us. The plants of the teeth are strange compared to those from our original homeland. They require much attention and deft care, and as I've found, tiny hands. You would make a good apothecary, I wager. My potions cure all wounds. Or most of them. I can help repair your... Are you looking to have your equipment repaired? I was one of the first to settle in Idylla, and I will be the last to leave if it ever comes to that. Many pine for our home of old, but not me. The clouds are my refuge now. Everything one requires, one will find in the concourse market. Weapons, armors, and healing implements. My days as a guard are behind me, but I know my way around arms and armor. I can patch it all up. Farewell.
Everything you need is here in the market. Welcome to the Idylla Market, Beckoned. Can I interest you in a freshly honed weapon? Our city didn't always have a place among the clouds, but Colossi ingenuity changed that. While it saves us from the wilds, it is my weapons that save the guard down below. We prefer the spear, for it suits us most in these lands, against this wilderness. But our travels have taken us many places, and I can craft weapons of every shape, and all are equally deadly. I construct weapons, and then I sell them. Most colossi are uncomfortable with their hands unfilled, so I endeavor to fill them. Would you like one? A weapon, I mean. Your hands are small. Mind the city's edges.
Can I interest you in some armor? Take heed in these lands, Beckoned. The Jotun, Trolls, and Terex will not spare you given the chance. Armor is my passion, my livelihood. No one in all of Idylla can provide protection of higher quality. I am reputed with good reason. Though our skin looks like stone, we are but flesh. As any mortal race, we need armor to protect ourselves. There is no finer city than this. Have you seen any other place in armor lore that can match our horizon? Have you found streets more pristine and appealing? You have not, because that is an impossibility. Be wary. In this land, Beckoned.
The finest magical... Please, peruse my wares, Beckoned. Though magic is new to our people, I can craft fine artifacts for it. I bear my skill proudly. There are those that stand by their spears, but even our greatest warriors acknowledge the worth of magic. Our ancestor race, the Myru, had no skill with magic. You can see how much we've progressed. With our arcane skill, we set this whole city to float among the clouds. But such ability must be tempered with appropriate humility, so the Primos has taught. I do not envy his position. He must lead us after his predecessor's grave mishaps. However, he will bring much glory to our people should his goal be realized. I will be here if you need.
Ah, the Beckoned. You won't find a better sagecrafter in all of Idylla than me. This city is a promise between us and the gods, but it is also a promise between us and the races of Amalur. My people will grow into the majesty of the city, and with the Empire to come, we will spread the gods' light. Attention to detail is not overly common amongst the Colossi. Much can escape the notice of one so elevated. But the facets and powers of my gems hold so much meaning and power. How could I ignore them? There is a lesson in sagecrafting. Even the smallest jewel can turn a common sword into a deadly weapon.
You must be the Beckoned.